This is the 71st annual gathering of the Thoreau Society. We've been meeting in Concord since 1941. We're the oldest and largest organization devoted to an American author. And we have a small membership, 1,200 members, but we have members, and this is from our most recent records, in all 50 states and 20 countries around the world. We're pleased to have with us today Nikita Pokrovsky from the Russian Federation, and Albana Bakhcherev. I'm very bad at pronouncing her last name, I apologize. And Nikita last year, or actually this past June, hosted an international program in the Kostroma region of Russia, where he unveiled the very first Thoreau cabin outside of the United States. And he's And Nikita is planning to organize another conference for sometime next spring, in which he'll be inviting Thoreau Society members from near and far to participate. And so be on the lookout for that announcement. Thanks, Nikita. And then also I wanted to announce, take the time now to announce a very special initiative of the Thoreau Society. It's called Mapping Thoreau Country. And we're pleased to announce the formal launch of this website, tracking Henry David Thoreau's travels in Massachusetts, on September 1st, 2012. This was developed in partnership with the University of Massachusetts at Lowell. Mapping Thoreau Country uses historical maps and primary materials to document Thoreau's travels to cities, towns, and scenic spots in the Commonwealth. Designed for easy integration into existing college courses, Mapping Thoreau Country also reaches out to the general public by featuring links to the many parks, nature centers, public agencies, museums, cultural organizations, and environmental groups throughout Massachusetts that offer programs on Thoreau's life and legacy. We are likewise delighted to announce that the Society, working in partnership with faculty and librarians at the University of Massachusetts at Lowell, recently won a $28,000 award from the Creative Economy Fund at the UMass President's Office to undertake a related project, the Walden Climate Change Collaborative. We've heard a lot about climate change during this annual gathering with Wen Stevenson's program on Thursday afternoon, and then with Richard Premack's presentation yesterday. And in a few minutes we'll hear from Professor Wilson, who will be addressing Thoreau and his relevance to today. So formed by the Society, this project, Mapping Thoreau Country, has been spearheaded by Thoreau Society board members Susan Gallagher and Joseph Fisher, together with the environmental sociologist Charlotte Ryan. The Walden Climate Change Collaborative will create a virtual classroom in the woods, a freely accessible digital platform that will document how climate change is impacting historic sites, preservation areas, and beloved landscapes across Massachusetts, starting with Walden Pond. I know you're all here to listen to our keynote speaker. I'll bring up our newly elected president of the Thoreau Society, Michael Schleifer, from Brooklyn, New York.
Welcome, fellow Thoreauvians, to the annual Dana Brigham Memorial Keynote Address. And in that regard, thanks once again to the Brigham family for sponsoring this address every year. It is usually one of, if not the highlight of the gathering. Whatever the theme of this gathering is, for me, it continues to be my good fortune having the opportunity to introduce our keynote speaker. Of course, he needs an introduction to this group as much as I need a hairbrush. Also, many thanks to Peter Alden in making many of the arrangements associated with this morning's address. Greatly appreciated the efforts Peter makes on behalf of the Society. Our speaker is the author of more books than some of us have read. Pulitzer Prize winner, recipient of many of the world's leading prizes in science and conservation. His latest book, which I have right here, The Social Conquest of Earth, is most prominently displayed in the bookshop at the Pond, along with many other titles by this delightful writer. Please join me in welcoming our next-door neighbor to the east, Professor Edward Wilson.
Thank you all for the privilege of speaking in honor of Henry David Thoreau and the great Thoreauvian tradition. You are the future of the 21st century. We are attempting to embody a tradition, a recognition of the nature of humanity, and a return to those stimuli and those environments for which our physiology and mind are exquisitely adapted. And I think that we could not honor anyone more presciently than Henry David Thoreau in order to, as part of the recognition of what I am certain will be an increasing trend of knowledge-seeking, education, and philosophy in this country and around the world. We celebrate also the Harvard Concord axis of history, which includes, of course, the Revolutionary Battle, the Battle Road, which I just come down, and the birth of major traditions in letters and philosophy. This is a great American tradition, which has been, we okay for hearing me? Can you hear me? Okay, now, count it in. I just gave you a very nice compliment. I just noted the Harvard Concord axis as one of the most important geographic areas in American history for another reason than just the American Revolution and its beginnings. It is a tradition in the development of American history and letters and philosophy, so great that it is honored by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, corporate leaders, and airline executives by creating the flyway to Hanscom Airport over it, so that with the roar over our head, we can be reminded of the direction we do not particularly want to take. Now, my presentation today, yeah, I'm a member of SURE too. Anyway, my presentation today is going to be the letter to Thoreau, with which I opened my book, The Future of Life, 10 years ago. I felt, particularly as an amateur, feeling as an amateur among professionals, many of you, that I could do both better than this, which was the result of a strong effort to absorb Thoreau and to learn all I could, and to participate in conversations with researchers and impersonators and others to understand Thoreau, even though my homeland is the Deep South, and particularly the state of Alabama. And I wanted to begin this book for the reason just indicated in my prelude I gave, how important Thoreau and what he represents and our relationship to nature is in the formation of our national and personal character. So here is the letter. Henry, I'll start off loud, I've got to wake him up. May I call you by your Christian name? Your words invite familiarity and make little sense otherwise. How else to interpret your insistent use of the first personal pronoun? I wrote this account, you say. Here are my deepest thoughts, and no third person placed between us could ever be so well represented, although Walden is sometimes oracular in tone. I don't read it the same way some do, as an oration to the multitude. Rather, this is a work of art, the testament of a citizen of Concord in New England, from one place, one time, and one writer's personal circumstance, that nevertheless reaches across 5 generations to address accurately the general human condition. Can there be a better definition of art? You brought me here. Our meeting could have just as well been a woodlot in Delaware or any other place, but here I am at the site of your cabin on the edge of Walden Pond. I came because of your stature in literature and the conservation movement, but also less nobly, I confess, because my home is in Lexington, 2 towns over. My pilgrimage is a pleasant afternoon's excursion to a nature reserve. But mostly I came because of all your contemporaries. You are the one I most need to understand. As a biologist with a modern scientific library, I know more than Darwin did.